Hello everyone. On March 3rd, the Xiaomi 17 Ultra is finally coming to Indonesia, and I'm lucky to be able to test this phone in Yogyakarta and Solo together with friends from Xiaomi Indonesia, media, reviewers, and photographers. Just a few days before the launch, my first impression, the 17 Ultra is more compact compared to the 15 Ultra. And after looking into it, this phone has several advantages. The first is its 1-inch type image sensor, which is now enhanced with low fix technology, which helps prevent the bright areas from being overexposed. And it can also preserve details in the shadows or dark areas, so the photo becomes more balanced and better. Currently, only the 17 Ultra and the Lite phone have this technology. And of course, this will make it easier for you to take good photos, especially in difficult or extreme lighting conditions, such as low light conditions and also high contrast situations. Second, the telephoto lens can zoom continuously from 75 to 100. This feature makes the Xiaomi camera module more compact than before, because now you don't need two separate modules like in the 15 Ultra series. Of course, for the camera, Xiaomi still collaborates with Leica. It's now been elevated to a strategic co-creation partnership. This means Leica's involvement is even greater in the hardware development, like the lenses, the software, and especially the color science. On this trip, I used the Leica Authentic profile a lot. This time, the photo shoot location has a traditional cultural theme. You can see an example of the colors in this photo taken at the umbrella workshop. The Leica Authentic colors tend to be rich. It means they're not too bright or saturated, but the color contrast is very strong and the colors are rich. So, if you look at the photo for a long time, it still looks interesting. I've also noticed that Xiaomi's auto white balance is getting better and better. For example, when photographing a traditional performance at a traditional top rack performance, the skin tone looks green to the eye because the lighting is actually greenish. But the resulting image has a natural skin tone. I also had the chance to try Leica high contrast black and white. Now, this is very ideal for creating dramatic portrait photos. I actually took this photo in fairly dark conditions. It was indoors with light coming only from a window, which was also quite small. And coincidentally, it was cloudy that day and there was occasional drizzle, so the condition was quite dark. But that's not a problem for this phone, because at the 23mm equivalent, or 1x, the image sensor is very large. It's a 1-inch type, and the aperture is also very wide at f1.67. So a lot of light enters the camera and the photos remain detailed, sharp, and in focus. I also think the telephoto lens is really good. This one is the latest. You can zoom from 75 to 100, whether the subject is far or close, the details still look clear and the overall look stays realistic. I've tried taking several portrait photos, and when I zoom in, they're very realistic. Even the facial details are very clearly visible. Maybe the most challenging place on this trip was when I photographed the making of gongs and gamelan instruments. Here, the conditions were very dark and the fire was very bright. And what's cool about the Xiaomi 17 Ultra is that it doesn't overheat. We could still take photos and record videos in a place that was really not ideal and extremely hot. In fact, many of the photographers and media crew overheated before the 17 Ultra phone did. So, to make shooting easier in unique conditions like the making of this gong and also for nighttime cultural performances, there are several special modes provided by Xiaomi that we can use to get more accurate results. For example, there are silhouette, stage, fireworks, and also fire modes. There's also a pro mode for those of you who want to adjust the exposure manually. As for the photo results, I noticed that the details of the captured fire are also good. It's not overexposed and there's a color gradient from bright to dark. To be honest, I didn't take too many video clips, but I did try recording a few video clips using the low fix mode. Well, in general, in conditions with enough contrast and low light, the video still looks good. From trying out the camera on the Xiaomi 17 Ultra for a few days, I think the camera is very flexible for various photography needs, especially for human interest photography. It is capable of producing great detail and also the distinctive Leica colors. The battery capacity has also increased from the previous generation, which was 5,000. Now it's 6,000 mAh. Well, my experience with it was also really helpful. Every day we take photos at 3 locations, and at night when I check, it's still around 40%. So for friends who love photography, you don't need to worry about running out of battery in the middle of a shoot. Of course, there are some imperfections with the Xiaomi 17 Ultra. I hope Xiaomi can improve these in the future. For example, the ultra-wide lens and also the 2x zoom range, or around 40 to 50 nm, are quite popular and often used by photographers. But the quality isn't as good as the main camera and also the telephoto lens. Maybe if it could be improved, that would be better. But on the other hand, I also realized that if all the lens modules are improved and the image sensors are made bigger, then the size of this phone could end up being too big. Maybe the best solution is to have several Ultra variants that we can choose from. For example, Ultra 1 for those who like landscape photography, where the ultra-wide lens has a large sensor. Ultra 2 for those who want a very long telephoto so it can reach far distances. Maybe 200 to 400 with very good quality. Or we could make a Xiaomi Ultra phone where we can change the camera module according to each person's needs. For those of you who might be like me and are currently using an older Xiaomi Ultra phone like the 14 or 15 Ultra series, for those who might want to know the detailed differences between the 17 and the 15, you can watch the video that I previously mentioned on this info photography channel. For those of you who want to get this Xiaomi 17 Ultra, please check the product links in the description of this video. Thank you for your attention and see you again in the next Xiaomi review. Okay, bye.